China, where yet another massive city roughly the population of New York, is being locked down because of COVID. Not New York City, New York State. People are angry and fed up with the draconian rules championed by President Xi Jinping. Right now, more than 65 million people cannot leave their homes across 33 cities. 65 million people. That's bigger than any state in America. It's enough people to fill New York City 8 times. Lockdowns in China have weakened the country's economy. They're literally shooting themselves in the foot. Yet, for whatever reason, Western nations, including the United States, aren't capitalizing. Dean Cheng has studied the Chinese for decades, senior research fellow at the Davis Institute for National Security Foreign Policy, and with us now. Dean, appreciate it as always. I can't imagine why every day the U.S. At the White House, the president's team, at the State Department, and on are not just going after the Chinese about these policies and in talking about how dangerous they are, and we stand with the Chinese people to weaken the regime.
Well, several things are at work here. First off, this is typically seen as an internal measure. Let's keep in mind that there are some in our own government who wish that we had that kind of lockdown capacity. Even now, despite the president's promise to, I'm not going to lock down America, I'm going to lock down the virus, with fears that we may have another fall or winter wave, criticizing the Chinese when you may well see certain states try and push this kind of effort is probably bad policy. And the other thing is that we have a lot of other problems with the Chinese that do seem to rise to the fore before COVID.
You say it's an internal issue. We don't talk a whole lot about their torture of the Uyghurs. That's also what, according to the Chinese, is an internal policy. I'm just thinking from a geopolitical sense that if you're looking at thumb screws, why not talk about how the Chinese economy is collapsing? Why not talk about how Xi Jinping's policies aren't working and are hurting his own people? There's people who are dying because they're locked in buildings and fire escapes are barred.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying we shouldn't be doing that. I'm saying I think this administration...
But you think it would work if we did?
It will certainly embarrass the Chinese. It will certainly cause them to put them on their back foot. It puts them in a reactive mode. Right now, with their wolf warrior diplomacy and their Belt and Road Initiative, they have the initiative. And we are playing reaction ball rather than heads up proactive ball. Absolutely. Xi Jinping is facing a party congress in about 4 weeks where he's going to be reaffirmed as party general secretary. This should be the time when we are, in fact, pushing hard to say, hey, this is the guy who is going to stay in charge for another 5 years. Is this really what best benefits China?
No, it's a great point. When you said that it would be pot calling the kettle black if the White House got up and said, hey, these lockdowns don't work, and then we tried to do the same thing. The flip side of this also, in terms of pressure points on the Chinese, that we hear from the White House so much about the Russians and the Russian oligarchs, yet the Chinese, by any standards, reasonable standards, are doing things just as bad as the Russians, if not worse. Certainly to the Uyghurs, as bad as it gets, quite literally. Yet the wealthiest people in China are off scot-free. None of them are sanctioned. We're not trying to take any of their yachts. And you look at them, they're as rich or richer than any of the guys in Russia.
Ironically, some of these oligarchs in China have benefited from the lockdowns. Apparently, one newly minted billionaire is in charge of a lot of financial elements that have to do with medical supplies. But the other thing here to keep in mind is that this administration has also said the most important thing is climate change. John Kerry has openly said, Uyghurs, you know what really matters? Climate change. So if you're going to take that attitude, the Chinese, not surprisingly, are going to say, you're giving us a green light.
Not that it necessarily worked in Russia going after the Russian oligarchs, but would going after the Chinese oligarchs in response, say, for China's bad acts on Taiwan, if we decided that was more important than climate change, make a difference?
Actually, at this point, it might almost help Xi Jinping. Xi has been cracking down on a lot of the Chinese oligarchs himself because they represent a potential lightning rod, potential group that might counter him. Jack Ma, one of the wealthiest people in China, disappeared for several months. And when he reemerged, came out basically and said, Xi Jinping is great, and I am all for him. So going after some of the oligarchs might actually only confirm for Xi that he can pressure them as well and neuter them in terms of forming any kind of opposition to him.
Fascinating. Really fascinating, Dean. I got to get you on this real quick. The EU and the U.S. are, quote, in their words, condemning China's human rights abuses. Take a listen.
The EU strongly condemns human rights violations in Xinjiang and other parts of China.
We will call on China to immediately cease committing these atrocities.
Well, torture, drugging, rape, forced abortion, brainwashing, mass surveillance, sending people off to death camps, much in the way that the Nazis did. I'm sure that the Chinese will immediately cease now that the EU has stepped up and said that.
Actually, I think we should fully expect the Chinese to respond as they have on a number of occasions, basically say, oh, yeah, tell it to the American Indians. Oh, yeah, tell it to the victims of Belgian imperialism in the Congo or British imperialism elsewhere. They are very good at using woke terminology, flipping it on its head and saying, you are so much worse than we are.
Well, that's an excellent point about they almost know our system better than we do. And work at it. They talk all the time about climate change, Dean, as you pointed out, which is where we're headed next. Dean, good to see you. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.